There are characters who are calm. There are characters who are confident. There are characters who seem like they have everything figured out. And then there's Karkat Vantas, a walking contradiction, a bundle of rage and insecurity, a loudmouth who secretly cares too much, a leader who doesn't believe in himself, a hero who never asked to be one. Karkat is not easy to like at first. He yells, he insults, he spirals, he panics, he self-destructs verbally at the speed of light. But if you stay long enough, if you listen past the shouting, you realize something important. Karkat Vantas isn't angry because he hates everyone. He's angry because he cares deeply in a universe that punishes vulnerability. Today, we're diving into why Karkat Vantas is one of the most emotionally complex, tragic, and relatable characters in Homestuck, and why, despite everything, people still love him. When most people first encounter Karkat, their reaction is simple. Why is this guy so angry? He types in all caps, he insults everyone, he panics constantly, he's rude, abrasive, and seemingly impossible to deal with. At first glance, he feels like comic relief, the angry one, the loud one, the one you're not supposed to take seriously, but Homestuck rarely does anything by accident. Karkat's anger isn't random, it's defensive, it's reactive, it's protective. Anger for Karkat is armor. If he yells first, he doesn't have to admit he's scared. If he insults others, they can't insult him first. If he pretends not to care, he doesn't have to risk caring openly. And that coping mechanism becomes his entire personality, at least on the surface. To understand Karkat, you have to understand what he is in his world. Karkat is a troll with mutant blood, and in Alternian society, that matters more than almost anything else. Blood color defines your social status, your expected role, your value, your fate. Karkat exists outside that system, too dangerous to be normal, too wrong to belong, too visible to hide, too powerless to change it. He grows up knowing, consciously or not, that his existence is a mistake in the eyes of his society. And that kind of knowledge doesn't just sit quietly in your mind, it warps you. It teaches you that failure is inevitable, acceptance is conditional love, is risky confidence, is dangerous. So Karkat compensates. He becomes loud, he becomes opinionated, he becomes angry, because anger feels better than fear. Here's one of the most interesting contradictions about Karkat. He constantly calls himself useless, yet he repeatedly steps into leadership roles, not because he wants power, not because he feels qualified, but because someone has to care. Karkat organizes, he strategizes, he tries to keep everyone alive, he worries about outcomes no one else is thinking about yet. And the cruel irony, the more he takes responsibility, the more he blames himself when things go wrong. He doesn't see leadership as authority, he sees it as obligation. That's why his failures hurt so much, because in his mind, failure isn't a mistake, it's proof that he was never good enough to begin with. A lot of people misunderstand Karkat by focusing only on his anger, but anger is just the loudest symptom. Underneath it is anxiety, guilt, fear of abandonment, fear of being unnecessary, fear of being unlovable. Karkat doesn't believe he deserves kindness, so when he receives it, he doesn't know how to process it. He lashes out, he deflects, he self-sabotages, because accepting care would mean admitting he wants it, and wanting something in Karkat's world is dangerous. Imagine Karkat alone. No chat windows, no arguments, no one to yell at, just silence. And suddenly, the anger has nowhere to go. He thinks about everything he said too harshly, every plan that failed, every time someone looked disappointed. He tells himself it doesn't matter, that none of it matters, that he doesn't care. But the truth leaks through. He cares too much. He cares if people survive. He cares if they hate him. He cares if he's doing the right thing. He cares if he's replaceable. And that realization terrifies him, because caring is weakness in his world. So when the silence becomes unbearable, he goes back to shouting. Because shouting is easier than admitting you're scared of losing people. Karkat's relationships are complicated because he is complicated. He oscillates between pushing people away, desperately wanting their approval. He insults friends he would die for. He doubts people who trust him. He clings to connections while pretending he doesn't need them. That push and pull dynamic is painful, but real. Many people relate to Karkat because he reflects a very human flaw, wanting closeness while being terrified of rejection. He doesn't know how to be loved casually. Everything feels like it has stakes. And when love feels dangerous, anger becomes a shield. Despite all of this emotional weight, Karkat is hilarious. Not accidentally, not randomly. His humor is survival-based. Sarcasm keeps him sane. Overreaction gives him control. Exaggeration makes pain manageable. When he yells, it's funny, but it's also a release valve. Comedy becomes a way to avoid emotional collapse, maintain distance, express frustration without fully breaking. And that balance, tragedy mixed with comedy, is exactly why Karkat works as a character. If he were only sad, he'd be unbearable. If he were only funny, he'd be shallow. Instead, he's both. Let's imagine something radical. What if Karkat truly believed in himself? What if he trusted his instincts? What if he accepted that caring is not weakness? What if he stopped assuming failure was inevitable? Here's the truth. He'd be terrifyingly effective. Karkat already has leadership instincts, moral concern, strategic thinking, loyalty, confidence is the only missing piece. And that's tragic, because it means the thing holding him back isn't fate, it's self-perception. Fans don't love Karkat because he's perfect. They love him because he's honest. He fails loudly, cares openly, struggles, visibly feels intensely. He doesn't pretend to be okay. In a story full of gods, timelines, and cosmic stakes, Karkat feels painfully human. And humanity is grounding. People see themselves in his anxiety, his self-doubt, his fear of being a burden, his desire to matter. That connection doesn't fade. Karkat's story teaches something important. Anger isn't the enemy, it's a signal. It points to unmet needs, unexpressed fear, unacknowledged care. Karkat isn't broken. He's overwhelmed, and learning to accept that is part of his journey. As I finish this drawing of Karkat Vantas, remember this. Not every hero is calm. Not every leader is confident. Not every kind person is gentle. Some people care loudly. Some people protect with anger. Some people love through chaos. Karkat Vantas is not weak because he struggles. He struggles because he is strong enough to care in a world that tells him he shouldn't. Now I want to hear from you. What do you relate to most about Karkat Vantas? His anger, his loyalty, his insecurity, his heart? Tell me in the comments, and let me know, who should I draw next? The comment with the most likes becomes the next deep dive story.